Video, we are going to watch part 2 of the Comparative Worlds with Truth Testing series. In part 1, you can get an explanation of how these paradigms work, what they're most useful for, and when it's strategic to have this debate. You can also watch not fully developed, but somewhat developed version of this debate between Adam Tomasi and David Brantz at the 2015 TOC quarterfinals. Cool. I'm ready whenever you are, Kirk.
Okay, so I guess I'll just start on the version where I defend Comparative Worlds. Is that fine with you?
Yeah.
Alright. So it's going to be interp, but the arguments I'm going to make are going to be on Discord. So. Yeah. Ready? Interpretation. All arguments must function under comparative worlds paradigm. You violate this you explicitly defend truth testing on ground one, trying to destroy quality ground. Ace point, you incentivize the debaters to always outplayer with squirrely strategy and avoid engaging in the ace here to impact ace point. The first destroys clash. That's key to education because allows us to learn a different argument. Second is time to when you outplayer, I can't leverage my one AC offense against your outplayering, which means you destroy any all my arguments in the one AC. Exact speech already times two. That's against from time two. I always all your arguments because I even have had time to ground to make these arguments. It doesn't matter if I don't have time to make all these arguments. I always your offense because it doesn't matter if you have more ground than me. That ground I'm saying is bad. These points are unreciprocal because they're infinite strategy. More strategies to prove a resolution false more than true. This also grants you access to lots of different arguments like skepticism and nibs, which I don't get access. Saying that get access to these arguments it doesn't solve because it's retroactively justifying abuse. Clearly, I didn't read them in this one AC, which now only affects the future round. Further, it is supercharged by the fact that if you're reading them one AC, you simply read theory on me. Fairness, always education. Ace, how we just on reversibility. This round's unfair. We can't reverse it in the future. However, we can reverse loss of education by learning more. Because point debate is structured to take into account fairness more. Because if we really care about education, then we wouldn't have activity where there's time constraints and make it competitive activity. Instead, we would simply have an open-ended discussion. Second, you have tons of philosophical education, philosophical ground, especially when the affirmative has a disadvantage. You shouldn't get more philosophical ground. You say key to fairness. However, to face the question, why a variety of arguments key to fair? You say a variety of arguments solves exclusion. However, debaters can adapt to a lot of different arguments. The next argument is education about whole fields of education. However, this makes the question about depth versus breadth. Because there's no reason why whole fields of argumentation are relevant. Clash probably turns this argument because even if you get whole fields of argumentation, it doesn't matter if you don't have clash on the issues. Your next arguments that you call for benefits. One, I give you practical reasons why truth testing is bad, which is that it links to only entering your education. Second is a link differential. Even if you get committed works debate under your education, it's significantly less because sometimes there is going to be truth testing debate on nibs and operators that puts us in following to the paradigm. Your next argument is about textuality. However, one, there's no reason for additional definition and turn probably dictionary definition not applicable to debate. My definition on converse chapter 10 negate to defend converse resolution which forces you to advocate a policy. I solve for arguments including the language argument. You say jurisdiction 1 is equivalent to judges for arguments that are not within jurisdiction all the time like chaos and the chaos second try to judge as the jurisdiction go for my definition of this if my definition more fair and education not yours with that jurisdiction based question of fairness and education. Your final argument is that truth your next argument is that truth testing is bad because theory can check. However, one it doesn't check because there's too many arguments. Competing interpretation means that we should set the better north debate. If competing interpretation reason why we care about potential abuse. If there are abuse of interpretation, we shouldn't use your interpretation. Then your final arguments about predictability and test on the topic. However, me giving you a definition solves.
Okay, I think that the top part of this speech, where you're making the arguments about clash and time skew and reciprocity and outweighing, your numbering is just awful there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just absolutely awful. Okay. So either it needs to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, but that becomes confusing if it's A, B, C, D, E because then you also have an A and B subpoint for Y outweighs.
I'd say little A, little B.
Right. Or you could just like not even number them and just list them out and say like, this kills clash, also independently kills time skew because of blah, 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 blah. Also independently kills this because of blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Internal links for all the three are here. Like, this clash key to fairness because this, time skew key to fairness because this, etc. key to fairness because this. Make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, your numbering there was less than impressive.
Sure. Yeah.
And left a lot to be desired. So that needs to be fixed. In terms of line by line, are you like? I'm not really getting your responses to jurisdiction.
The jurisdiction was that one, this is perfectly denied. Judges vote for arguments outside of jurisdiction all the time. And second term, a judge has the jurisdiction to vote for that definition if it's more fair than educational than your definition, which means that jurisdiction begs the question of fairness versus education.
Okay, that makes sense. I think that on the definition of negate, there is a benefit to it being a dictionary definition, which is that it's more predictable and it's more commonly used. What you need to point out is that common usage is just one standard for predictability, and that there are other standards as well. Like the idea that truth testing is a more predictable way for the round to be evaluated than comparative worlds seems to be false.
Sure.
Like at the very worst, they're both equally predictable.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
No, I'm good. I'll redo this speech.
Okay. And then now let's do truth testing over comparative worlds.
Sure. So, counter interpretation and line by line.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Interpretation of all arguments must be wait, let me restart. That was bad. Yeah. A's interpretation of all arguments must be consistent with the true section paradigm. B's violation explicitly demand a comparative worlds paradigm on ground one. Nielsen is false. You can you definitely can have a priori and skeptic here. Under the affirmative, you simply have to win the impact, which is presumption and purposeful. You make three arguments. First is a double bind. However, if I win my interpretation, then that means that sets a norm for future rounds of the good strategy. Which I won't be able to run theory on you. The second argument sets awful norms. However, this begs the question of you winning your stance. If I win, that is better norm for debate. Then it's a good norm. Your third argument says cost intervention. However, it's not my fault, debaters. No, do international work. If you're trying to up layer with NIPS, obviously you should probably do some international work. On ground, second chart, I increase the quantity of ground because that allows more variety of arguments. I included comparative worlds argument plus more argument, which means I'll co-opt our reason for comparative worlds because you can still debate on comparative worlds under my inspiration. That way, your offense ace point, you don't allow for a variety of perspectives, which is key for allowing more education. B supply, I'm the only one solving exclusion because some debaters simply better debating tricks, and you prevent that exclusion. Is the biggest component of fairness because arbitrarily limits debate between haves and have-nots and prevents round being judging or adjudicating fairness before the round even starts. And three, I saw no, that's already that argument's already made. Now your next argument, I kill AC's time on clash one. Definition engage to deny the truth of which means that we on textuality because that literally the definition that it justifies the truth testing paradigm textuality comes for all your fairness or education arguments because it frames how debate should be evaluated in terms of fairness or education. Also, language comes first because we have to understand the arguments in order to make arguments in the first place. Finally, it's key to jurisdiction because it sets a burden because the judge has to follow the burden structure before actually evaluating your argument. Second, there's no warrant for the argument because people who want to still engage in the ACN. Three, there's no not my fault that you don't do any preemptive weighing in the one ACN. Four, there's an implicit check against bad tricks, which is that you can run theory against the specific tricks that are justified. It doesn't mean the entire paradigm truth testing is bad. Your final argument is a question of uniqueness. However, you should protect the twin or for ace points that lack the army of twin has to be both backward looking and forward looking. The piece of points that twin the twin gets the last feature being at extrapolate new warrants also make new arguments. C points that one error is not that hard. People have up layer also responding to previous layers all the time. Turn you destroy philosophical education like skep ed and philosophical education from NIPS. Those are unique form of education because we usually don't gain those form of education because we usually debate under compare worlds paradigm. Philosophical education, biggest approach to education is the most portable skill. In the future, we will have to make philosophical decisions all the time in our everyday lives. Education always fairness stays by our iteration. Fairness only influences within the space. However, education influences after we get our activity a set piece of point. Really care about fairness. We will probably buy big trophies for ourselves. Clearly, we don't do that, which means some external purpose to debate.
I think maybe it would make more sense if all of your offense was located in one place. Because like this parallel turn at the end about Phil Ed, I'm not really sure where it was signposted on.
Oh, I thought it was signposted on the uniqueness issue that you shouldn't get more arguments. I say more. Well, I probably should have articulated that better then. Yeah,
Right.
That makes sense.
So like perhaps like you say this, but first this, second this.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
So like there needs to be like we've gone from you signposting too much and explaining the argument you're responding to too much to you just not signposting at all.
Yeah, instead like you're on your next argument first,
Right.
second, yeah.
And now it's just like a shit show. Like, I have no idea what you're responding.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's-
flowing down arguments now, and I have
That's
no idea where they're supposed to be put on the flow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
In terms of the line by line, I think it's fine. I mean, we're never going to go for this debate,
Yeah.
but it's good for you to understand the arguments. Yeah, I don't have too many substantive criticisms on the line by line. I think you did a decent job there.
Should I redo this then?
No, I don't think you should. Maybe if you redo it just for the purposes of practicing how to signpost better. So yeah, actually, why don't we redo this? And the goal is to signpost more clearly. So the key with signposting is that we don't want to be inefficient and cost ourselves time, but we also don't want to be too
Lose a
quick
judge.
with it and lose our judge at where they're at.
Sure. So like, I think this is a little bit more difficult to signpost really shortly because there's not really a numbering of the standards when this argument speech was delivered. So I would just say on the
Right,
ground
so
standard,
it's harder when they don't signpost.
Right.
And you're responding to a speech that's not
But that
signposted.
doesn't give you the leeway to like just make it a shit show.
So I think what you should do then is like, you say ground skew, A this, B.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
instead of explaining like, you say my ground is skewed, you say comparative world's best for ground because it ensures reciprocal ground. Instead of that, you can
Yeah,
just
all
say,
ground skew.
you say ground skew, A this, B this, C this.
That's fair. Yeah.
Or if instead of you can say, he says or she says it's ground skew, but A this, B this, C this. Make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions about
No, I'm
that?
good.
Okay.